So,
Scarlett, Bipolar and Cheese.
yes.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So please tell us your
Log
connect-
line?
Yeah, and your connection to the film. So what you are to the film and an outline of the film, please.
Okay, sure. I am the writer, producer, director. Oh, no, I lie. Sorry. Take out. Can we start again? No, we can't. It's Periscope.
It's Periscope.
Okay, sorry guys. No, I'm a writer, producer, editor by trade.
Yeah.
And that's what I do for work. But on my side time, I wrote, directed, and edited Bipolar and Cheese.
Right.
And it's basically a story about a therapist that is diagnosed with bipolar disorder after she has a manic breakdown over a guy that she bonds over with cheese.
I love cheese.
So I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does. Yeah.
But she basically has this big idea like, hey, he's my man. We bonded over cheese. He's great. He's going to be my boyfriend. And then she loses it in the office in front of everybody.
I have seen it.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, I've seen the film.
You've seen the film.
I've seen the film.
So you know. And so it's pretty funny. I mean, I like that I took it to a more comical level than a more dramatic level. I mean, obviously it's a serious topic. And it's something that, you know, needs to be shown and be out there in the public. But I think you could get away with making it funny, but not, you know, sort of Xing out people that have mental, you know, disorders. So I think they might find it funny as well because
there's a fine line. I know.
There's a fine line.
There's a fine line. Yeah.
It's, you know, we all do weird stuff. It just, if you have this disorder, you're going to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And that's what she does in this film. She takes it to the next level, and then she takes it even further, and then she takes it even further. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things that, like, if you're kind of not right, your head and the chemicals in your brain aren't like telling you like this is right and this is wrong, this is what it should be doing. Not right or wrong, but you know, this is sort of what is accepted and what's not accepted, and let me just chill back. I might like this guy, but let me relax. You know, instead she loses it. She loses all capacity.
Self-control, really.
Yeah, all self-control, all capacity to think, you know, to just be, you know, she's just living in the moment. Like this is the guy, and becomes delusional, basically.
And is there, what's the? I assume there's a story behind why you wanted to make this film. Or,
right.
Is it okay to ask that, or is it a personal thing? I mean,
it's not personal to me.
Right.
It's a friend of mine that is a therapist that has gone through something similar to this, and so I wrote it around her. And
did she have any input with that? I mean, was she helping you write the?
Yeah, she did. She helped me a little bit. She told me her story, and then I kind of juiced it up from there, and you know, added the cheese element and just kind of made it funnier, you know. But the whole situation of her just losing it over a guy for barely like what a normal person would seem is like not that big of a deal. It was kind of funny, you know, to me, and to her now it is too. So it kind of worked out, and she just gave me full reign to just play with it and do my thing, you know.
So other than the cheese, did this actually happen to her? Or sorry.
Kind of.
Right. Okay.
Kind of. Well, she is a therapist,
Yeah.
and she did lose it and find out she was manic. She had a manic episode, and she finds out she was bipolar.
Yeah.
So it's not very uncommon for a therapist or psychiatrist to actually have one of these mental disorders. In fact, a lot of the people in these fields have been through this, and that's why they've chosen this lifestyle as to, I'm going to help people, I'm going to become a psychiatrist or therapist, what have you, and sort of help people that have gone through the same things they have. It's kind of like if you go to a halfway house or you're a drug rehab facility, And the people that are there that are helping you usually are people that you were drug addicts themselves.
Yeah,
It's kind of like the
yeah,
same idea.
exactly. Yeah, I
You
what you
know,
mean.
so with her, she's just learning that she's bipolar. She didn't know it. She's just always been kind of kooky and crazy and whatever, and didn't think anything of it. And then she has this big episode, and then it's like the doctor tells her, "Listen, you have bipolar disorder. You've had it for a while. It's gone untreated. You know, this episode is what's, you know, made it come clear to everyone now that you have a problem and you need to take care of it." So it ends in a way that is kind of like sad, but not in a very dark, sad, scary way. Just sort of like wow, oh my God, you know, was she dreaming this the whole time, or is she just, you know, really did meet this guy and is still kind of not well. And so I wrote this feature. I wrote this originally as a feature.
Yeah, and then
And then I cut it down and made it a short. Basically, I took the money scene, the big breakdown scene in the office, where she breaks down and loses it, and you know,
So no regrets about not keeping it as a feature. Was that the right move in hindsight?
Well, no, because what I want to do is I want to make the feature and sell it as a feature.
Right. So this is like the taster.
This is like
This is the cheese before the main course. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. I'm going to use that when I go to King. Okay. Anyway, when I go to Con. No, but I mean, I wrote it as a feature 10 years ago, and basically what happened was I, you know, wrote it and rewrote it and just kept working on it, and then I just got, you know, kind of like, okay, I need to take a break from this, you know, for quite a few years.
Do something else. Yeah.
So I wrote a few pilots, kind of up the alley of mental disorders and whatnot, or just quirky comedies and that thing. And then I realized, well, I don't really have any connections in TV, and it's really hard to get into TV unless you know someone.
It's just
And I work in TV, but it's a different, you know, world. If you're a showrunner, you're a writer in TV, and I work in the promo world. So for me, it's like I'm just an editor. So I kind of sit in my room and edit, you know.
Because that's completely disconnected from a writer.
I'm very disconnected.
Yeah.
I'm very disconnected from like the real world. You know, I'm just editing my thing and doing my thing, and they're like promos, they're short form. So this came kind of natural to me because, in a sense, I could make it a short, and I knew where to cut, and I knew how to make it to where it was a story, and a succinct story, where it wasn't too long, too drawn out, too boring, or I could just like cut to the chase. Like, okay, this scene, the point of this scene is this, end it here. The point of this scene is this, end it here. You know, you don't need to drag out every scene, you know, in your first short film. And so for me, there was about 7 different locations in a 12-minute film. So I didn't really drag out every scene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I sort of like made it to where like, okay, you get it, and you move on. And I can do that being a promo editor. For some reason, like editing just sort of comes natural to me.
You obviously know back
Yeah,
to front.
I've been doing it for 20 years. So for me, it was easy to cut it down. You know, I watch a lot of short films and say, oh my God, there's so much they can cut from this. But, you know, it is what it is. People, you know, they do what they do. And
so you've seen the transition from celluloid analog to digital, if you've been doing this for 20
Yes.
years. So we, if you go back 20, I know we're talking about film, but this is where we go off piece and an interesting snippet. So you've seen the end of celluloid. I know it's not, I know it's still going, but and were you literally, I don't know if you were literally cutting the film
I was.
by hand, and then you've slowly transitioned with the digital.
I went to film school, University of Miami, and I cut on flatbeds. I actually cut and spliced the film and kept the actual whatever I cut out. I would put them on the little hooks, which we called bins back then, which Avid calls bins, and so does Final Cut, you know. And so we would we would keep every piece that we would cut. We would put it on a little hook, and we'd keep it in, and we'd like sort of label it so we knew this was this scene, or this, even if it was 2 frames that we cut out, you keep them because you never know, you might need them again.
Oh god, yeah.
Right? Because this is linear. This is not non-linear. This is linear. So you're cutting, taking it out, putting it back together, and then, okay, well, what if I need that? Then I gotta kind of splice it back in.
When was the last time you actually cut a celluloid work? Ooh. So, I mean, could you just, if someone said, we're making a film, we need you to edit celluloid, could you go back and just do it like that?
I probably could, yeah. Because
Okay.
I did it for a while. I did it in film school back in, I graduated in 97?
Yeah, just thanks for making me feel really old.
Did it for 3 years. I'm very old.
No,
yeah.
making me feel very old. Really me.
I'm pretty old too, though. 97 is when I graduated, and I worked at the radio station, did the same thing, reel to reel, would cut, this little tiny 1/4 inch tape.
Yeah.
Cut it, splice it, you have to splice it sideways, can't cut it straight, you gotta splice it diagonally.
Yeah.
And then tape it, and then play it, listen to it, do this thing so you can cut 5 different splices of songs in a 30-second promo. That's how I ended up getting into promos, because I just kind of had that thing for short format, you know. But as far as film goes, I was cutting on my friends' films, music videos, short films, anything I could get my hands on. I basically went to the director of the film department and I said, hey, listen, I know I'm television film major, and that's more with the broadcast department and whatnot, and wasn't with the motion picture department, but I said, listen, I want to be an editor. I realized that early on. I really loved editing. Like, I would just edit, and then all of a sudden I would be starving. So I'd go to the snack machine and eat a Snickers and then go back and keep editing. Like, would not take a break. I have to go to the bathroom and hold it for as long as I could, So I told him, I said, hey, listen, I really want to be an editor. This is my dream. This is what I want to do. Can I take this class? Can I take that class? Can I take this class? And I will be the editor, and I will help everybody with their projects. And he was like, sure. So I got really lucky in that respect, because he just let me take the classes where I could just edit everyone else's film projects, and I could focus on my craft and what I wanted to do.
And is that still the same? So you've produced
and that was on flatbeds and whatnot, you know.
But now you've you've made films yourself.
Yes.
Produced, directed, written. Is that still your passion, or if someone said to you, "Screw that, we want you to be a director," and that's let's say hypothetically. You would only be directing or writing for the rest of your life. I'm guessing you'd miss editing, but is it still the top passion, or could directing take over now, writing?
Because I've been editing for so long, I would love to fall into directing and editing, writing more. I've been writing for about 10, 12 years now, and I have a great writing group that gives me great feedback out in LA. And I do like directing. I do like making a project, and I feel like editing is almost the same thing. It may not be your material that you're editing, but you're still making something out of nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would like to branch out and edit, write and direct. Maybe edit, but that might be a little too taxing depending on the project, on what it is. I did write, direct, and edit my own piece, but that's because financial reasons and whatnot.
Because you self-produced, I guess, on this.
I was not the producer.
Oh right, sorry.
I was not the producer on this.
So how did you get that? That was going to be my next question, because it's always a tricky subject, but somewhere along the line, excuse me, you've got to finance it, haven't you? So how did you go about raising the finance required to put this together?
Well, my producer didn't raise funds. My producer just oversaw the production, basically.
Yeah.
What I ended up doing was I did a crowdfunding thing on Indiegogo.
Yeah.
And I raised half of the money that I needed for the film, which I was a little bummed about, because I wanted to raise 10 grand. I raised 5-6 grand. The film
Which is still not bad.
The film ended up costing 12. It's a 12-minute film.
Yeah.
You figure $1,000 a minute. That's about average.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little high, but it's the average. You know, I had some friends that would work for free, and then other friends that, you know, were not necessarily friends, or were maybe friends of friends. You know, producer, DP, certain people you have to pay.
Yeah.
And there's other people, costume designer, production designer, were really good friends of mine, casting director, really good friends of mine, would not take a dime from me. You know, so it all evened out. And I think what happened was, locations-wise, I had a lot of locations in my film, and I ended up having to pay Film LA for permits and
Yeah,
insurance.
because this must be a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a nightmare in the office scene, because I just was like, it has to be in an office.
Because there's no way around that scene. I mean, it is a bona fide office, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can't really...
It's a working office.
Yeah, it's a working
It was
office.
the Film LA offices. So they were like, you need to get permits, you need to get insurance, you need to do everything the right way. And I was like, well, okay, this is the only scene we're shooting on our film. You know, you don't want to, like, you know, get into deep. But basically, it was rough. It was rough because that's where all the money went to. Thousands of dollars to insurance and this and that, and getting, you know, a person on board that would just like oversee you, and the whole thing, you know, security, whatever. So
Did you find that a little bit off-putting, though? I mean, no, because you're spending whoever's money on the crowdsourcing, probably raise the rest of stuff, whatever, and the money's sounds like it's not pouring away, but you know, it's for a 12-minute film. You know, I guess that's absolutely right.
Right.
But at any point, you think, fucking hell, you know, the money it's draining so quickly, or did you just not really think about that and still not thinking about it?
I try not to think about that. At first, I was like, wow, this is costing me more than I thought it would. But that happens with everyone, and I know that's going to happen. Like, I mean, it's a film.
Yeah.
Like, there's always expenses that you don't see coming, and so I did at first kind of go, oh, wow. I took a step back and go, wow, that really sucks. But because of the nature of the film and the locations of how I wrote it, it kind of needed to be in an office, in a working office. And that was really...
That's integral too. I mean, I know what you're talking about.
It was the only way that was going to work. I could not build an office and dress it up just not to pay the fees of whatever, you know, because that would have costed, you know,
even more.
I dropped my mic. That's okay. Right. So, you know, it would have costed even more and more time, and just not worth it. So, you know, I just paid a few bucks here and just got it done. And what was really hard, I got to tell you, the hardest part of the film was the crowdfunding.
What, having the time to get it, or the wait for it?
No, just crowdfunding in general.
Oh right, the effort required to crowdfund.
The effort.
Right, because a couple of filmmakers said to me, however much it is,
it's a full-time job.
double it what you get, what you really want. That's some people said.
Yeah,
that, so.
it's a full-time job. You know, you have to be on social media all the time. You have to just be like going, you know, just begging your friends and family not in a begging way, but in a creative way. You need to put yourself out there every day, all the time, just to get a few bucks. And then it adds up after a while. And if you don't have a big community of friends and family, you're not going to, you know, raise a lot of money. And so, you know, I've heard stories where, like, you know, so-and-so would, you know, have this great project, and he had Snoop Dogg on his side, and Snoop Dogg said, hey, I got this project, he's a friend of mine, and you should really look into it and, like, give money to his crowdfunding. Do you think anybody gave money? No, because they don't know the guy, they don't know his project, they don't know what he's doing, they don't know him. Just because Snoop Dogg says, hey, you should give him money, doesn't mean he's going to get money. It's always about your friends and family. So it's like, how much can you drain from people before they're like tired of listening to you and they're like, okay, fine, I'll give you $20, whatever. That's why if you look at my credits, there's a lot of thank yous.
Names and names, yeah.
There's a lot of thank yous. I mean, people that gave me $10, I put them on my credits because I was like, you know what, they deserve it. And a lot of people are great and happy to see that I've actually done something with the money, and you know, it's worked out. But I gotta tell you, that was the hardest part. The filmmaking seemed easy to me, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have a couple, you know, little situations here and there you need to take care of, but for the most part, everyone sort of just kind of straightened up and listened. She's the director, listen to her and do her, you know, what she wants. And then whenever I needed some direction, not direction, but like opinions, let's say, you know, I was sort of like on the fence about something. You know, I like, you know, collaboration. So I would get collaboration from, you know, people that I trust. And that was nice too. You know, I'm all about that because, you know, writing, directing, editing it yourself and just not showing it to anyone is just like, that's a recipe for disaster. You need to put it out there a little bit. Like I have editor friends that are in the TV world that cut reality TV or cut, you know, scripted, work on films, and I've shown it to them and they said, well, you know, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that, whatever. Sometimes I listened, sometimes I didn't, but if there was about 3 or 4 people that said the same thing, maybe I should listen to that note. You know, maybe they have maybe there's a reason why that part's not working and I should work on that, you know. So you kind of take it as you think it works. You kind of gotta feel the vibe and feel, you know, what's right. You know, you can feel it, you know, intuition, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, yeah.
Scarlett, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
No, thank you very much. That's wonderful.
Oh, we'll reschedule. Call me. Bye. I'm just gonna end this.
Violet, that window doesn't open.
Oh, fuck!
I've been kind of depressed.
That's horrible. Trust me.